themselves and empower them. And since we're still talking about school, this is something, obviously, the levels of obviously no attendance is something that is quite trendy at the moment, right? It's a really
Yep.
big, complex topic, the school attendance. But I think when we talk obviously about neurodivergent children, sometimes also it raises a question about anxiety, distress around the school, and I think when it comes to school absences, sometimes again we're very quick reframing that as a school refusal. So I was just wondering what your opinion on school attendance. Again, it's very complex, and there are many reasons, many different personal stories. But since we are on Neurodiversity Celebration Week, I just wanted to see your opinion on school absences.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think school refusers is one that's used quite a lot,
Mm,
isn't it?
yeah.
Um, and I will always say that our children are not refusing to go to school. Our children want to be in school. Our children want to kick a football around at playtime with their mates. They want to learn because there are those, topics and subjects at school that really interest them and they want to be there. Their friends are going, and they want that input. What's happening is that our children are unable to attend school because school doesn't feel like a safe space to be. In terms of our brain and our brain responses, we need to feel safe in order to be able to learn and thrive. Because if it doesn't feel safe, the brain is constantly on high alert.
Mm.
And if you're constantly on high alert, it's because you think something's going to happen in a minute, and I don't feel safe and I can't do this, and that person's not going to meet my needs, and that person's not going to be able to help me, and it builds the anxiety. Our children need to feel safe in their education
Mhm.
environment. But safety for our children is about making sure that their unique needs are being met. So the sensory needs that we've been talking about, again, understand their sensory profile and what they need to regulate. But also think about the expectations and demands that are placed on our children. And I get it. There are many, many hundreds and thousands of amazing teachers in our schools. There really are.
Yeah.
But they are fighting against a system that they know isn't working for those children, but they feel that there's not an alternative because this is the pressure that they're being,
Mm.
that's being pushed on them. And a lot of our good teachers, unfortunately, are leaving the sector because they
Another
just feel that they're
crisis.
not able
Mhm.
to do what they feel is the right thing to do for our children. But we can make some alterations. We can do some things. You are the teacher, you're in charge of your classroom. Think about your space. I remember it was a couple of summers ago, and it was my youngest son's school fair. It was the summer fair. And normally the activities and the games and things would be out on the field, but it was your usual kind of July Saturday in London, and it was piddling down with rain. So
Right.
all of the activities had to go inside into the classrooms. And because of COVID and everything else, we hadn't actually been in the classroom for a long time because it was kind of pick up at the gate and everything else. I walked into the classroom and instantly I felt on edge. And it almost looked like um, somebody had just literally thrown up primary colours and it was just splattered around the classroom because the tabletops were blue, the chairs were red, the displays were just full of information. There was stuff hanging from the ceiling. There was children's artwork up on the windows, which stop natural light coming in. So therefore, we're reliant on the fluorescent fake lighting.
Mm.
We've got the carpet that all the children sit on with their spot, and all the spots were different colours and had different pictures on. Some were ladybirds, some were butterfly. The overload of sensory information was ridiculous.
Wow.
And just that would create a space where the children don't feel safe. And what there wasn't in that room was a space for the children to escape to, just a
Mm.
little quiet, little cozy corner where they can just reset, decompress, and breathe when they get overwhelmed. Um, so we've got the environment itself, we've got the level of demands and commands that are placed on our children. My youngest son's dyslexic. he really struggles. He really, really struggles. But the push is to get them to the next bit all the time. And the teacher has said to me, I want to be able to spend more time focusing on this maths problem solving
Mm.
strategy with him because he hasn't quite got it. But I can't because we've got to move on to the next
Fun.
thing.
Mm. So it's
Um,
more.
and and with the dyslexic brain, the brain has to work 80% harder
Mm.
than his peers. So again, the level of input that we're giving our children, he is only able to take on information for a few minutes at a time. He needs regular movement breaks.
Mm.
So I've sent him into school with a resistance band to go over the front two legs of his chair so that he can
What a good
bounce his legs.
idea.
So he's
Mm.
getting some proprioceptive input. We've chatted with a teacher, and now if the register needs to go to the office or if she needs something, she'll send him to go and
I
get
can
that
do.
movement break.
Mhm.
So it's all of these little things that will create this safe space for our children. And he had an amazing teacher in year 3. He would be at the door right at the beginning of the day, welcoming all the children in, high five. He knew what my son had been doing over the weekend because he'd taken an interest in him.
Oh,
What are you doing this weekend, Stan? Got any football matches? What are you going? What team are you playing? So on the Monday morning, hey Stan, how did your football go at the weekend, dude? How was it? Did you
oh.
score? Was it all right? The
You build a connection, belonging,
absolutely
trust.
Absolutely. It's not going straight into the academic stuff. It's, I know that to get the academic results, I need you to feel trusted with me as your trusted adult.
Mhm.
So, and he was the best teacher because that was his first priority, was to connect with my son, to make him feel safe so that he felt able to make a mistake in class
Mm.
and knew that it was going to be all right, or he felt safe enough to ask for help and knew that he wasn't going to get told off for not doing the work, or whatever it might be. So connection before compliance,
Mm.
flexibility, accommodations, adaptions, and your environment, just that as a standalone will make a massive difference and will enable our children to feel safe enough to enter the classroom, because their differences are seen as just that, a difference, and not a problem.
Yeah.
But the education system is a one size fits all, and
Mhm.
it's got to change from the top. I can't see that happening anytime soon, unfortunately.
But you know,
Um,
but even in this conversation, you've given so quickly, just, small tips that they don't take time to implement. They don't require, a big budget to
no,
implement. Little things that you were saying, just like, they need movement break, with, find a way, just, do you need someone to help you to take the register? The bands, I love that. That's great as well. But little things, even the environment, exactly. Just really, just taking the time for you to enter the environment through the eyes of the child. What's the child looking at? Where is the light coming from? Even what can they access? How are they feeling? How is the layout? How are all the resources as well? Sort of like showcasing how everything has been created, and exactly
yeah,
that. Because there is something about spaces when we coming into the spaces, right? It really can provoke so many emotions, and one of the emotions, of course, can be, I'm not accepted here, I'm
yeah,
not valued, I'm not trusted, I don't have a voice, I shouldn't be asking questions, I shouldn't be making mistakes. And I think that's very powerful, because I truly think, yes, small tweaks can make such a big difference for all the children in our classrooms. And also, yeah, you're giving that time. And I love what you're saying about connection. It's such a primal need as well. When we talk about human development, I mean, everything
yeah,
starts with connection and attachment,
yeah.
and that's how we develop